Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is Kratos1283 doing a deck profile again for you guys today. I know I've been doing a lot of deck profiles. I'm in a bit of a block right now. I haven't been able to do much videos. The ban list is coming up pretty soon here, and of course, with that being said, the deck I'm going to be doing a deck profile of is not a deck that's going to be affected by the ban list whatsoever, so we don't have to worry about that. Um, but another reason why I haven't been making videos lately. My fiance's little brother has been staying with us for, quite a while. And it's really hard to make videos when he's around. But without further ado, let's get to the deck profile. And I'll explain, of course, some cards, why they're in there, like in my wind-up deck profile. So let's get started. We are doing Gishkis. Gishki has been one of my favorite decks ever since I first saw them. My friend plays Gustos, as you know from one of the videos before. I like to play Gishkis. And of course there is a little story behind the Gusto and the Gishki, how they do versus each other. But let's get on with the deck profile. First we are using two of our Gishki Gishki Soul Ogre. Now Gishki Soul Ogre is 2800 both ways. And of course allows you to discard your Gishki monsters to return your Gishki or your opponent's monsters, sorry, back to their deck. It's kind of like Bryonic, but I find a little bit better. You do have to get rid of your Gishki, which is a little bit limited, but it sends it back to the deck, so you don't have to worry about it. Next turn. Next to set up our plays, we have one Tetrogre in there. Tetrogre's effect, of course, is if you can activate this effect and call monster, spell, or trap card, and if your opponent doesn't discard to negate that effect, you each send one of the called cards to the graveyard from your main deck. So it sends your ritual monsters to the graveyard, or it sends your ritual spell card to the graveyard, so you can return your ritual monsters to your hand. There's other plays you of course can do with that, but those are the main ones. And of course, if your opponent doesn't allow it and discards a card from their hand, it is getting rid of cards in their hand, so it's not as bad. And finally the last ritual, one Gust Kraken. I mainly use her, in case you can hit a Gores, which is nice. You get to look at the two cards and send one of them back to the deck, and she's a 2400 beater. I don't use her, of course, that often, but, hey, you get to look at two cards in your opponent's hand and send one back to the deck. Always good. So those are the rituals. Next we have two Gishki Chain. Now Gishki Chain is, of course, like the pot of duality of this deck. You get to look at the top three cards. Your opponent doesn't get to see them, however. And you choose one ritual spell card or one ritual monster from from the pile and add it to your hand. You can then rearrange the other cards and put them on top of your deck. So it's kind of like a ponder. Not to mention he's an 1800 beat stick, which is always good. Next we have the Stratos of the deck, our Gishki Abyss, which searches any Gishki monster when it's summoned with 1000 defense or less. Very good card. It allows you to search for Gust Kraken, Shadow, Vision, and other cards in the deck. Next, of course, we are playing three Gishki Shadow. Now the Gishki Shadow is a very key card of this deck, where you discard it and add your ritual spell card to your hand, and of course you can be used as the entire tribute for the ritual summon. We are using two Vision Gishkis at the moment. I usually would run three, like on my Dueling Network profile, but I don't have three at the moment, sadly. I am, however, looking for one. So if you guys do have a Vision Gishki, comment in the comment section below, let me know if you have one, and I will put up a binder video, new binder video, with my collection, and we can hopefully make some trades. We are using two Gishki Ariel. Now a lot of people don't use Gishki Ariel. I do. I'm a little iffy on her. Though she is a 4-star with 1800 defense, you set her face down, and when she is flipped, you get to search for your deck for any Gishki monster and add it to your hand. So of course, face down Gishki Ariel, first turn, not a bad thing. Not very many creatures can go over 1800 attack points unless they special summon in the first turn, like with Dino Rabbit, but you do get that search to your hand. And we are using essentially 3 Gishki Beasts. We only have one right now, but I have 2 Gishki markers, but they will turn into Gishki Beasts once I get them. The Gishki Beast, which I'm just counting them as Gishki Beasts at the moment, when you summon him, you special summon a Gishki monster from your graveyard that's level 4 or lower. It does get its effect, so if you do return, say, Gishki Abyss, then you get your search. He's also very good for exceeding. I sadly don't have the exceed monster, but he's good for rank 4 exceeds. And for the final monster, we have 1 Tecton Amelia. I am still thinking of whether I really want to use Amelia, but I find she's not that bad of a card. So 1 Tecton Amelia, and of course, 1600 attack. It's okay, and she can be searched with Abyss. For our spells, we have, of course, using our 3 Aqua Mirrors. Now, the Aqua Mirror's effect is you can return any ritual Gishki monster from your graveyard to your hand to send it back to the deck. This allows you to reuse it constantly and bring, of course, your ritual monsters that you use to perhaps ritual summon your monsters if you didn't have your Gishki Abyss, your Gishki Shadow and your Gishki Vision back to your hand, or of course the ones that were destroyed. We are taking in at the moment 1 of the Forbidden Arts Gishki. It is a nice card, and you do get to use your opponent's monsters for the ritual summon, though you lose your battle phase, and you do lose half your monster's attack points. But of course, it's not bad when you summon your Gishki Soul Ogre, because it still gains, or still has its 2800 defense points, and it still, of course, has its effect, where you can pitch a Gishki monster and return 1 monster from your opponent's field, or a face-up monster, and put it back to the deck. Next, we're using 2 One Day of Peace. We're only teching 2 at the moment. I do love One Day of Peace in this deck, for the reason, if you summon, you say your Gishki Abyss, and, it's an attack mode. It's a very weak card. You activate One Day of Peace after getting your search from your Gishki Abyss, and you get to draw a card. And that makes it so you can't take any battle damage on your opponent's turn from that Gishki Abyss being in attack mode. As well as other cards, that really helps you set up your plays. The deck can be inconsistent, so you do want something like One Day of Peace to add consistency in the draw support and have that ability to not take any battle damage. For staples, of course, 1 Monster Reborn. We're using 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Dark Hole, and 1 Heavy Storm. I'm not using Pot of Avarice in this deck. I don't feel that this deck actually really needs it from all the recycling that it can use. For our traps, we are using Solemn Judgment with our 2 Solemn Warnings. So it's a Judgment or Solemn Brigade. You have to run it in every single deck. I mean, come on, guys. Things are still running rampant, and you just got to use the Solemn Warnings and the Solemn Judgment. For now, we are using 3 Aqua Mirror of Meditation. Of course, these are going to be coming right out once I get some salvage. So much faster, and this card does say you can get any Gishki monster, whereas the other one is a little bit limited because you can't bring your big guys back, but you don't need to do that because you have your mirror to do that. And of course, you can bring stuff like Shadow back, Abyss back, it brings a lot better plays, I find, and of course it is faster than this. So think of these, of course, as your 3 salvage instead of the meditation. Next, we are using 2 Torrential Tributes. Torrential Tribute, I find, is pretty much just a must. When you have weak cards like Abyss, getting your search out, you want to set that Torrential Tribute if you do not have that One Day of Peace. They summon an okay monster, you Torrential Tribute, you're safe for taking life point damage. It also puts of course, your Gishki Abyss in the graveyard, so if you do use your Gishki Beast, return your Gishki Abyss into defense mode, and you get your search once more. Of course, with that, and if you say you get your Vision to your hand, you can then discard it, get Tetra Ogre to your hand. If you have your Ritual Spell, activate your Ritual Spell, getting rid of your 2 monsters, special summon Tetra Ogre, activate its effect. If your opponent allows it, send a ritual monster. Send your card back to send your ritual spell back to the deck. Get your ritual monster back to hand, and if you hit your salvages, you can get your 2, your beast and your abyss back. So torrential tribute, it can be a very key card at certain moments. We are taking 1 bottomless trap hole in there because bottomless trap hole, is still a very good card, especially against Dino Rabbit. Y'all know what it does. 1 bottomless trap hole. I wanted to put 2 in this deck, but just couldn't find the room. And the last 2 cards are 2 Call of the Haunted. Now, Call of the Haunted is especially a very, very good card. Of course, you have it set because it's a drop card. But if your opponent, tries to do a chain, you activate your Call of the Haunted, and you can use Call of the Haunted to stop some things. Like, if your opponent says Yellow Gadget, like I saw in, I believe, was it Dragon Duelist Girl? I think it was. I'll have a link in the description below. She does have a very, very, very good content for, teaching you guys how things work. That is how I learned how Call of Haunted was actually such a very good card. But it can stall or it can stop chains. You activate it during certain times, like say Yellow Gadget, like she said, and they summon Yellow Gadget. Activate Call of the Haunted, bring back your monster. And there's certain things they just can't do it. They can't bottomless your monsters because you can't stop. You can't stop a chain basically. So 1 Call of the Haunted. She of course explains it so much better. That's why I'm going to leave a description in the link, or a link in the description below. So that's the deck profile. Hopefully soon I will be getting the other cards like Marrowgeist, which is the Exceed monster. That's level 4, or sorry, rank 4. That when you attack a monster, you can detach a monster from it and return it back to the deck. So not a very bad card. It's not needed, but it's good to have. Anyways, that's Process 1 to 3. Oh, another thing I'm going to be showing you guys is a new playmat that I've got. I don't know whether it's going to be for trade or sale. I might want to keep it for a little while before I do such. Though I might be willing to trade it for the tour guide mat from the YCS. This is a custom-made mat that the person did, and it cost me about $45 worth of cards, but it was worth it. And that is my new tour guide / Sandgam. Sorry, can't hear me. Tour guide / Sandgam playmat. It's it's pretty good quality. I will leave a link in the description below with the person's channel who I got it from. And maybe if you guys like playmats, you can get some of his stuff. Now, I know I just did 2 shoutouts in my video. I barely have any people in my, I don't have very many subscribers. Now I'm going to explain the reason why I'm going to put them. I do love their stuff. I do love the playmat. So hopefully, if you guys or if somebody does stumble upon this video before stumbling upon theirs, go to their stuff. I am not asking for a shoutout pack whatsoever, because we all have to start at the bottom, and that's just how it is. I have to get better with my own content, not somebody just giving me a shout out for no reason because I gave them one. So just don't be thinking that if you do see this video, don't think that I'm wanting a shout out. I don't. So yeah, that was the deck. Hopefully I'm going to be posting more stuff for you guys. I do want to post more stuff. I do want to get bigger and everything like that. I want to have fun, and I find this stuff is very fun. So leave a comment in the comment section below. As I said, if you do have some of the stuff I need Gishki Beasts, I need Salvages, I need the 1 Gishki Vision. Let me know. As well, of course, with the playmat, I might trade this playmat if you guys want it, but only if it's going to be going towards the YCS tour guide mat, or the tour bus mat, sorry. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say. You guys have yourself a good day. I'm going to be going to work very soon here. This is Grontos123, finally making those videos, signing out.